They ignore evidence that challenges conventional wisdom about global warming. We should rather salute those brave, independent souls whose findings lead them to minority conclusions. It's too soon to say with absolute certainty whether they're flat earthers or Galileos. Or another proposition. Many of those who've jumped onto the fashionable bandwagon are unduly influenced by the most recent evidence of warming. There have been hot periods in the past, as well as ice ages. We can't conclude very much from short time series. It's absurd to draw conclusions, as many seek to do, on the basis of the last few summers or childhood memories of winter. Or another proposition. Some predictions of really imminent catastrophe, such as huge rises in sea level in the next few years, do amount to scaremongering. At the very least, they're conclusions based on worst-case analysis. Or another, the issue of climate change has been seized upon by opponents of individualism and free market capitalism, for whom this is only the latest argument for more central control. It's only the latest outlet for disapproval of incontinent growth and commercialism. I'll only do two more. But another argument would be that there's a religious fanatical strain in some predictions of impending plagues of boils and locusts. This is the long-awaited Armageddon, the judgment day upon which we must all atone for our sins of arrogance and greed. Shakespeare's Isabella in Measure for Measure speaks of man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as makes the angels weep. Now the doom merchants promise us divine retribution. Or my final proposition would be that others, including many in this association, I may say, attribute impending disaster to anthropocentrism, a refusal to shift from a worldview that supposes a God created in man's image, to an ecocentric perspective that accepts a more modest place for man, such a recent arrival on this earth, in the great scheme of things. They demand that we should live in harmony with the natural systems that sustain us. Nonsense, say the deniers. We should have confidence in our ability to shape our environment. Now, there is no doubt truth in some of those propositions. Those who dismiss them angrily or airily, I think, do a disservice to their cause. The issues do need to be debated. But I don't propose to debate them here because I know that I'm speaking, although I hear there are two deniers in the corner, I think on the whole, I am speaking to the converted, and I don't want to waste your time. And I'm speaking not just to the converted, but to advocates of urgent action who've labored long in the heat of the sun and who know very much more about this subject than I do. This audience knows the counter-arguments to my 10 propositions all too well. The conclusions of the IPCC reports are clear, and they are alarming. Skeptics tend to dismiss them as alarmist. Yet the IPCC has actually put together an admittedly and deliberately conservative estimate of the dangers. This suggests that even if we stopped all further greenhouse gas emissions at once, which is not going to happen, the Earth's temperature will almost certainly rise further because of the gases that we've already put into the atmosphere, with unpredictable but certainly undesirable effects. The amount of that rise can't be predicted with any certainty, but the median prediction is around 2 degrees. Now, 2 degrees may not sound much, but to put it in context, it may be recalled that when the Earth was 5 degrees cooler, Canada was under 1 mile of ice. Even a 1 degree increase would make the Earth hotter than it has been for more than 1 million years. Now, I don't pretend to be a scientist, but policymakers who are non-scientists have a responsibility to reach a judgment on the weight of the evidence. The IPCC reports, endorsed by the vast majority of international researchers in this field, now offer such a weight of evidence that responsible policymakers can no longer ignore them. I must accept that the case is not proven. If the dire predictions are wrong, thank God for that. But it would be criminally irresponsible not to take action simply because a small minority of researchers think it unnecessary.